Okay, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Skaggy Bones, I'm your host, and today we're looking at part 3 of our perfect grade Mark II Titans color version. Okay, so still, like I said, still haven't painted the kit, but we wanted to look at some of the gimmicks and the articulation. So first of all, I am going to give you a disclaimer and tell you that when I talk about articulation, I'm going to try to show you the articulation as it occurs with all the armor on. Without the armor, this guy is absurdly articulate. You take the armor off, he's just like Strike Gundam. He can do high kicks. I had his inner frame doing crazy high kicks, and he was doing crazy bend over moves and stuff without the armor on. And so without the armor on, it's absurd this type of stuff he can and can't do. The ankle armor kind of limits him a little bit, as you can see down here. It does limit him a little bit. That's why I'd love to see a new Gundam. I just think he'd be awesome. Just crazy articulate without the ankle armor and stuff. One of the few Gundams without ankle armor. But this guy is still crazy articulate, and we're going to go through that. Like I said, you don't have to worry about with these perfect grades of posability and stuff breaking. The only thing that you need to watch is when you're putting on some of the outer armor, some of the pieces, like these chest pieces and stuff, the plastic is not as thick and heavy as the inner frame. The inner frame is very heavy, thick plastic. You're not going to break them. It's more like toy plastic than it is monoplastic. In fact, if you look at this, this is very heavy duty plastic. You're not going to, I mean, you can. I could sit and snap this and break it. Like I said, there was a problem with the bazooka on the handle because it did have some small flimsy plastic. But overall, when you look at this, this is nice heavy duty plastic. It's not something that it's just gonna snap and fall apart and break. Okay, the gun, I dropped them on the floor, he didn't break. So, you know, most models would just shatter if you dropped them. Okay, plastic's really heavy duty. You know, I don't feel like I'm gonna break this piece just by touching it. Okay, his V-fin is huge. You could probably cut yourself off it. So it's nice and thick and heavy. It's not going to just snap. Okay, pretty heavy duty. So I'm not too worried about him breaking. You can maneuver him around, put him in a lot of poses. The problem is some joints are going to be weaker than others as far as they're not as tight. Okay, obviously you paint the guy, he's going to be a little bit stiffer, a little tighter. And then arm joints, obviously, they aren't as heavy. So the arm joints are a little stiffer than what the leg joints would be. So that's kind of my little bit disclaimer before we start. Okay, so one of the first things I want to do is I kind of want to show you some of the gimmicks with the armor. So first of all, we're going to start with the armor, and I'll start off with the shoulders since that's the top portion of it. I always like to work top and bottom, forward, aft, military guy. One thing is first you're going to have is these top parts here are going to pop up, and you can kind of see. Kind of try to zoom in for you there. You can kind of see some of the inner detail and some of the piping there inside the top portion with these thrusters. Okay, so I've had people say, well, these aren't really thrusters up on his shoulders, but they are. They're thrusters. That's what they are. The leg thrusters, those aren't intakes, they're thrusters. That's a thruster there. That's an intake, okay? Sorry, those are vents, not thrusters on the chest, okay? Anybody knows Gundam knows that. So you can see some piping in there. You got a lot of little bits of inner detail you can do. The front armor flips up as well. You can kind of pop that up, and it doesn't go up super far. It's not meant to go super far. Oh, by the way, sorry. So you can pop this up. The problem is if you push this up too far to clear the armor over and up and around, you got a little pivot point here. It's just going to pop off is all that's going to happen. You're not going to hurt it. You could actually pop the armor off. Bam. It's got a poly cap in there, and then you can kind of see some of the inner detail. So push it back on. If I can get it back in. There we go. Sorry folks, give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I had to fix the shoulder armor there. So these are going to pop up a little bit like so. This armor is going to pop up like that, like this. Also in the back, you have it pops up. Bam, like so. So it kind of swings open. The arm armor is going to do this, and it's on a joint here, so it swings up. It doesn't swing out a whole lot. It just kind of comes up a little bit. And you can do the other armor. Now this, like I said, see how this is a little flimsier than some of your other stuff, and that's just the way it is, because you got to realize the whole inside of the Gundam is solid. It's piece on top of piece on top of piece. Okay, that's just kind of how it is. Now, come over here, and you're gonna bring this all the way up. Okay, bring the camera up so you can see it, and then get my trusty hobby knife. I'll lift up all the way. Bam, on the neck area, I want to call it, and then bam, that pops up, and then even the sides. Sorry. This pops out like so, and this is the only thing with some of these armor pieces pop off. They don't pop off a lot. They're not bad, but they're all held in by pally caps. And it just depends how tight it is. Poly cap. So that pops out like so. Okay. And then we can go to like the back armor. Technically, you can kind of pull it all apart here. I don't really want to pull it all apart. This pops down here. This pops down, kind of pops out, and you could technically pull all this armor off here and kind of show that off a little bit, but I don't really want to do that. So you can pop the leg, armor up, bam, like that. Pop this leg armor like so, and you can do the other same with the other side. Bam, that pops up. Okay, like that. Trying to think if No, that doesn't. That just pops off. All right. I forget which pieces do what. Okay, and then I'm trying to think if anything else does. I don't think so. That's pretty much most of it. That's how everything looks kind of like popped up and out of the way. Let me kind of get his head back together really quick, and then I'll finish. We're gonna do this. Oh, shoot. I forgot about the cables. No! Forgot about cables. Shouldn't have done that. Okay. Forgot, I got them all wired up. I pre-wired them. There's not a ton of cables, but last thing you want to do is if you decide to put 2 batteries in there, that's the last thing you want to worry about. Okay, so we're going to shut them all up. Let me get some of this armor out of the way. The nice thing is, shoulder armor, it doesn't necessarily, the armor snaps back into place. Some ways it kind of reminds me of, a lot actually of New Gundam. The thing I like is I really like, now there are pivoting armor pieces. Ah, shoot. So one thing you have to watch is on this leg armor, because you can accidentally push it on the don't push it on the thruster part, or you'll actually push out the thruster portion. Okay, so that's that for his articulation as far as gimmick wise. Okay, and you do have this part that does lift up and down, and then of course on the legs themselves, the vents do the same thing down here. So I can actually take and spin those. I'm not gonna fiddle with those because I kind of have them set the way I want them. But let's talk about some articulation here, folks. Okay, so articulation wise, you're gonna get, and I don't want to say standard, it's standard perfect grade for articulation. So head can move pretty much, it would move 360 degrees other than you got wires in there, okay? And it's just not going to move 360 degrees. If you don't have the wires in it, you can move 360 degrees. Really good, okay? These here, and I'll show you from the back, these, by the way, his backpack plugs in, okay? And his backpack stows the battery, okay? So you see this, that's where the pins are. The back, trying to think how to do this. You have a switch in here. So this is thrusters. You got thrusters here, and then beam sabers. Okay, so as beam sabers come out, and the poly caps are nice and tight on this, fortunately. So you got like a little poly cap there. That's the beam saber handle. Can I show you? Nice big beam saber handle. Wow, just nice big beam sabers. Okay. Sorry. I always do that. I always put them in the wrong way. Or attempt to. Where there's no hole. Okay, but you can see this part here, and then you can see that part there. Okay, now I took this off just to kind of, you're going to have articulation there. You have these nice hoses, and they're metal. They're like a brass aluminum material. Okay, I'm going to take that off for now. Skirt-wise, back skirt does not move. You're not getting any movement in the back skirt other than this. Pops down, and you have a slot there, and allows for him to go like so. Like that, and then that slides in, and now he's not just sitting there, it's actually locked in. Okay, and then that comes out like so. Okay, you're going to get a, what the heck? Sorry. You're going to get decent articulation with these. These are pretty much a ball joint. Same thing as with here, as you can see. You got a poly cap on a ball, and the poly cap pivots, but the ball pivots as well. Okay, and they're nice big ball joints. Okay, and then I want to show you this. As you can see, your legs. There's your legs. I'm going to lift up the skirt armor. I'm going to show you something here. So your legs are on this die cast metal piece, and that can pivot back and forth. Okay, so first of all, we'll talk about the arm articulation. So the arm articulation you're going to get, so you got your head articulation there. Your arm articulation, you're getting 365 degrees all the way around. What you are going to get, though, is you got this shoulder movement that goes all the way out like this. Okay, and then you do have, which I'm trying to get this to do this. This shoulder actually pivots up. And underneath there's some pistons, which you're not going to be able to see, but they're there. Okay, now one thing that you're going to get, that you're not going to get with like a master grade, is this pops out here, and then this can come forward like that. It can go up, it can go down. And that's how you're going to get this piston to pop up. And there you go, if you can see in there. See, there's a piston in there. Yeah, there is a piston there. And that's how you do it. So the whole point of this is you can really lift that arm up. You can pretty much dislocate that arm if you really want to. But that pops back in. It's also so he can reach over and kind of do some crazy poses with his arms. This piece here is going to rotate 365 degrees. And like I said, if you want to pop the arm off, that's where you pop it off on. You can pop it off at the shoulder. You just have a little poly cap in there. But that stays on pretty good. You're going to get 180 degree movement because you get 90 degree movement here at this elbow portion, and then you get another 90 degree there. Okay, so you have two joints. Like I said, they're both bolted, and you have some moving armor in there. And then you have another joint here, but you don't really see it. I'm going to try to show you guys. I want to show you all the little stuff. Sorry. There we go. This is a little bit better. Gotta pop that off just a little bit. I'm trying to take his armor off. Okay, pop this up here, and then if you can't really see in there. This has these little pistons in the hand area. They're molded plastic pistons, but they are pistons nonetheless. They're not silver. They're more for mobility movement than anything. But that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this full. You do have pistons there, in the back of the arm, like I said, and then your hands. You're going to get full movement there. Each one has got 2 joints. Nice big ball joints. They're not going to pop out. This is a swing arm like that, and you have where you peg that like that. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Nice thing is though, you can make nice. You got lots of nice articulation with this dude. Okay. Leg wise, talk about legs here. Oh, waist. You're gonna get, and the waist is probably the worst articulator. Let me pop him apart here. So you don't have, that part can pop apart there. You have the waist area. Lay that down. You don't have a core fighter on this guy, okay? But what you do have, and you can pop this out, and then this pops up, and like that, and you can see inside, and you have metallic in there, and you're not going to be able to really see it because of all the armor. This armor stays on, but if you popped all this armor off, you actually have 4 pistons in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's for his torso movement. So believe it or not, this whole thing in here, if you had no armor on, he would twist and turn and do all kinds of crazy stuff. It's amazing the articulation that the inner frame does. And a lot of people build these just as the inner frame, and then just they leave them as just an inner frame like that. Okay, but so you got that there. By the way, if you look at the eyes, they're actually molded clear with the black around them, so you don't have to put any stickers or weird garbage mumbo jumbo stuff on them. Okay. And then why I got the head off and everything, I'll show you this real quick so you see what this would look like. Because technically all the other Gundams have the head is built in, and that's what he looks like. The Vulcans. Kind of crazy look. It's not really wasn't the most popular looks. It was one of those things that people didn't really like it a whole lot. It's a weird design that they did, but it's what Bandai did, and that's what you're gonna get. Okay, I do like the shoulders on these way better than RX-78, just because you got the thrusters and stuff, and you got a lot of inner detail on that. Okay, so leg wise, I'm gonna leave the top part off for now, just so you can kind of really get an idea of everything he can do. I mean, you can get him to do crazy splits like this. As you can see, there is the pistons inside there, which you'll never see. And then, of course, you have pistons in the knee there. And then you have 2 sets of these metal pieces there, and like that. And you, believe it or not, the feet have like, you got piston, piston, piston. So you got pistons in the ankle. You got 3 feet pistons, because the foot actually does all this crazy stuff. So, bam, it does that. It does all the crazy stuff. Okay, so leg articulation, we'll go through that here. You're going to get, if you lift the skirt up, you're going to get rotation like this. You're not going, oh well, actually, if you pull the leg out, you get 365-degree leg rotation, okay? Okay, so you can get that with the skirt out. Okay, you're going to get 180-degree leg rotation there, or knee bend, because of the two knees. You do get this armor. It does go in and out, which is kind of cool. And then what really is awesome is the feet. The feet articulation is just absolutely crazy. So you're going to get forward and back ankle rock. As you can see the joint here, you actually can push down like this. I don't know what this thing is for. Doesn't really talk about it in the thing, the book, the manual, whatever. But your foot, and I want to take the ankle armor off. I want to really show you. So this goes, and see there's the joint. See that joint? That's the joint, and that joint really, you can rotate all kinds of ways. It can do that back and forth like that. It goes side to side, forward and aft. Okay, and then you have this part of the foot that rotates. See that? See how that works? And then you can actually you can almost get him up on his you can really get him kind of some crazy feet type positions. You can have him going literally all the way like so, like this. Okay, now, yeah, all your perfect grades do this. Are really good at doing this, except for your, what do you call it? Oh, the Banshees. Or sorry, not the Unicorn. Unicorn is absolutely atrocious. His articulation. It's not articulate. Like, he doesn't have all this crazy foot articulation and everything. The Banshees just they're just not that good. Okay, so there you go for that. Now, get them back on here. Sorry, this video is running, so we're close to a half hour here. Back on there. There we go. You can really get some really cool poses out of him. Okay. And then of course his backpack. Gotta get the backpack on. Okay. So like I said, he's got like there's a couple little things. It's not so much his ankles that tend to be weak. It's the one knee joint, the top knee joint is lighter than the other knee joint. And it's because of all the little, it's got a whole bunch of little pieces in there and the way they build it. because it's got all this detail in here for the armor. And it's kind of a, I don't know, it's not as tough as all the rest of the leg. So he tends to fall forward. Most guys fall backwards. Almost every mobile suit you get, they get back heavy and they start to fall backwards. This guy, no, he falls forward. He's forward heavy. So that's the only problem I see with him. Other than that, it's a great kit. Build it. If you like perfect grades, he's one of the best. And I mean it. Like, I mean, you look at this guy. He is absolutely stupendous. I mean, it's a great guy. It's a great kit. I mean, he's big. He's a big dude. Looks good. You can get him a lot of poses. Like I said, if I grab him there, he's just going to go back. I mean, see how those knees are? That's the only drawback I had. He's so stinking articulate. And there are screws there, and I just don't think putting the screws in tighter is gonna work. Like, that wouldn't make it tighter. Okay, so like I said, that's pretty much it. That's him in a nutshell. Like I said, they give you extra screws. Still got some screws here. Together I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra screws. Not a big deal. I'm glad they give you those extra screws in case you screw one up. There is one in there that's kind of stripped. Even though I got the precision exact screw driver for it, for some reason it just a little harder than normal. The screws are tiny. But like I said, this guy's a great kit. It was well worth the money. Real easy to assemble, put together. It takes a couple days. It's not a quick assembly process, folks. Is it easy to follow the directions? Yeah, if you can do a master grade, you can do this guy. Lots of nice big parts, springs, screws, everything. You just have to pay attention, okay? And like I said, the only drawback is the bazooka. And if I would have known how flimsy that was to begin with, I would have started off by gluing. And probably pinning the handle up there anyways. And I would have solved the problem of it cracking and falling apart. But other than that, that was really the only issue that I had with the kit. Okay? Folks, if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Try to get to them. If you built the kit, tell me any luck you've had with this. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know I don't do a whole lot of Gundam stuff, just a few things, hobby-wise, mostly the bike stuff. But I hope you like this video, and I hope to bring you some other more reviews and videos as well.